Tired of dealing with annoying flies, fruit flies, and gnats in your home? The Zevo Flying Insect Trap is your ultimate solution. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description now to get your Zevo Flying Insect Trap on Amazon and enjoy a bug-free home today.
He produced the laser show for Kate Moss's 40th birthday party, conjured up an immersive, multisensory exhibition for the Prince and Princess of Wales's friend and neighbor, the Marquis of Cholmondeley, at Houghton Hall in Norfolk, and created what the National Portrait Gallery has called the most evocative image of a royal by any artist with a holographic portrayal of Queen Elizabeth. But has Chris Levine now forfeited his chance to repeat his magic on King Charles? I ask because the innovative Levine, whose celebrated image of the late Queen captured her, uniquely, with her eyes closed, is now the subject of legal action initiated by the very charity which commissioned the portrait in 2003. There is plenty at stake. The Jersey Heritage Trust, which asked Levine to create a portrait of the Queen to celebrate the island's 800 years of allegiance to the Crown, calculates that, since November 2017, Levine has sold or otherwise exploited 223 copies of the eyes closed image, entitled Lightness of Being. In the process, claims the trust, he generated sales worth at least £3 million. But that's not all. The trust additionally calculates that, in the same period, Levine has sold at least 66 copies of the first portrait he created, a more conventional one, entitled Equanimity, in which Her Majesty's eyes were open, thereby generating sales of at least £585,000. It argues that, under the terms of a settlement reached in 2015, Levine agreed to pay it a royalty of 20% on all net income derived from the two portraits, claiming that the portraits generated more than £3.7 million, and more than £1.2 million in 2022 alone. It argues that Levine owed at least £650,000 by November 2022. Disputing that the sum was due in full by that date, Levine has issued a counterclaim, asserting that the trust funded only the first sitting with the Queen in 2003, whereas he funded the second, in 2004, at a cost of £50,000. That is the sitting, he claims, from which virtually all the published works derive, including, most famously, Lightness of Being. The trust declines to comment. It had reportedly commissioned Levine to produce a portrait of the king. Levine tells me that he cannot comment on that commission. Presumably its fate depends on the outcome of a mediation process which, he says, is imminent. He may have left the ballroom behind, but, when it comes to making money, former Strictly judge Bruno Tonioli is still a champion. The Italian has reported a £500,000 profit at Fulvia, the company into which he channels his TV earnings. New accounts filed at Companies House report £3.9 million in shareholders' funds held by him. Tonioli set up his company in 2010 and its latest figures include his first year on the judges' panel at Britain's Got Talent. Keira Knightley, who has struggled with dyslexia since the age of 6, has revealed that her daughter has also been diagnosed with the condition, which causes difficulties with reading, writing and spelling. Talking about how she memorizes her lines, the actress, 39, says, "I still find sight reading really hard. It really bounces, the text, but basically I record it and listen to it, and that's how I learn it. But now we have a dyslexic kid and she's doing the same thing, and her memory is absolutely amazing." Keira has two daughters, Edie, 8, and Delilah, 4, with her husband, former Klaxons singer James Wrighton, 40. Speaking on Ruthie's Table 4 podcast, Wrighton says of their girl, "She'll look at books and would have memorized the book and it's amazing." Hollywood movie director Paul Feig, whose hits include Bridesmaids and The Heat, says changing tastes in comedy are no laughing matter. Audiences have gotten very sensitive, he tells me at a screening of his new film, Jackpot, at the Ham Yard Hotel in London's Soho. "You have to be very careful if you go too far. If you look at the comedy of the 1990s, it was very broad and over the top in a very funny way. The campaign by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex against online bullying has raised eyebrows in California, I hear. That's because Meghan has made a point of affirming her friendship with the model Chrissy Teigen, who was forced to apologize after sending a string of abusive messages online to a teenager. Teigen, 38, who's married to singer John Legend, told the youngster, "IH.